It is now time for oral questions. I recognize the member for Timiskaming Cochrane.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Premier. There is a memorandum of agreement between the Ontario government and Ontario Power Generation, and basically the government appoints the directors, and then the directors who are appointed by the government run the company. So they do the hiring, the firing, the managing. Does the Premier agree with that memorandum of agreement?
Premier.
Through you, Mr. Speaker, the Ontario Generation is responsible for their own hiring. But let me tell you what we did with the Energy Act. We cancelled the Green Energy Act. We saved 7,500 jobs at Pickering that the Leader of the Opposition wanted to cancel. We saved $790 million in contracts. We got rid of Hydro One Board and the CEO. They're gone. They're done. And home heating costs are actually going down. Energy costs are going down. That's what we did for the energy file, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
Order. Order. Start the clock. Supplementary.
Thank you once again to the Premier. I think I heard that he said that the board is responsible for the hiring. I didn't hear firing because I was surprised that according to media reports, Alykhan Velshi was fired from his executive position at OPG after a single day on the job thanks to a call from the Premier's office. Yesterday, when Ontario Power Generation was asked for comment, they refused to give any details about Mr. Velshi's severance package. But some are already suggesting that it could be as high as $500,000, $500,000. Can the Premier tell us how much of the public's money will Mr. Velshi be taking home for his 24 hours on the job?
Hear, hear. Thank you.
Premier.
Again, through you, Mr. Speaker, the OPG is responsible for doing their own hiring. Again, I'm going to repeat, the opposition wanted to fire 7,500 people out in Pickering. They wanted to get rid of 7,500 people that were relying on good-paying jobs to pay their mortgage, to put food on their table. You didn't worry about the 7,500 people in Pickering. We cared about the 7,500 people in Pickering. That's why they're still employed there.
Start the clock. Final supplementary.
Once again to the Premier. Once again, it looks like the people of this province are going to be stuck with the bill for one of Premier Ford's decisions and paying the price for settling his political score. If a Tory insider is getting paid $500,000 for one day's work, people have a right to some answers. And the question that needs to be answered is, did the Premier direct or request that Mr. Velshi be fired? And if he did, how much will his severance cost the people of Ontario?
Well, Minister of Energy.
Premier, Minister of Energy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ontario Power Generation is responsible for their own staffing decisions. OPG is a Crown corporation that is responsible for their own staffing decisions. All staffing decisions at OPG are made by OPG. Thank you.
Next question.